Hello, my name is Michael Souza, and if you are watching this video is because you have received a card like this, the English version, because this one is the Portuguese one, or because you are curious about this game that is called An Adventure on the Card. First of all, I must apologize about my English. It's what it is. It's not great, but I'll try to do my best to communicate with you. First of all, we are going to see how to play this game in the most simple way as possible. So the game is very simple. You are an adventurer that is going to try to defeat a monster. This is your bar of fatigue, let's call it fatigue, and this is the bar of fatigue of the monster. When you fill your bar of fatigue, you lose the game, and the same for the monster. But the game has a room. This is the entrance door, and this is the room where you can escape during the fight. So this is a game about fighting. The game is very minimalistic, only requires the dice, d6, and the pen, for example. Let's see how it plays. You roll the dice, and then you decide. So roll the dice and then you decide, one or two. Do you run in the room, or will you attack the monster with the dice pip that you got during the throw? Then, if you decide to attack the monster, you must roll the dice again, and then see if the second roll is higher, equal, or lower than the previous roll. So I had a 2. Let's pretend that I decide to attack the monster. I had a 2. I roll for the monster. The monster has a 2. And then we see that if the monster has equal or higher, I must fill a space in my fatigue bar. So in this case, with a 2, I could only be successful with a 1. If the monster rolled a 1, I marked the space in his fatigue bar. But after I do the second roll, I go back to play. So this is an algorithm, and I go to play again. So another round, I roll the dice, and I decide with a 4. With the 4, I'll decide to attack the monster again. And the monster has a 6, bigger than me. Now I lose another fatigue. And I'm going to erase this one, because this is what was only an example. And then I pass to the play again. I roll again, and I had a 2. With a 2, we've seen previously, with a 2, it's very difficult to have a success attacking the monster. So I'll decide to run. So 2, I run in the room. 1, 2. I lose my game if I fill this bar, and I have also no more place to run without the monster to have his fatigue bar complete. So back to play. The algorithm restarts. I roll the dice with a 3, also very low. I decide to run again. Then I roll the dice again to see what I do. A 2, I decide to run. Again, another round. A none. 1. With a 1, I always lose. So 1. Let's roll 6. With a 6, I'm going to attack the monster. So let's compare with the second roll. 6, 1. Yes, I have a success, and then I reduce I had fatigued the monster. So we continue this until either this bar is full, this one is full, or this is full. When these two are full, I lose the game. When this one is full, I win the game. That's it. Now I want to talk something, and I want to share why I've created this one. I've created this game because during the SNSpiel 2022, I had the need to have a card, and as a newbie, it was the first time I was there. I didn't bring any card, so I had no means to communicate and to leave my references and my contacts to the people that I've talked with. So I had the idea I must create a card, and then during the conference I decided, well, but the card must have something different and something related to games and to board games and to what I do, and it must give an example about a use of a game for a purpose that is not simply played. So I had the idea to create a game to put in the back side of the card, creating the game a simple game. It should be as simple as possible, using only one dice and with a pen, and so it would be a roll and write kind of game. And the game and the rules must fit the back of the card. So this was the restraints that I had to create a card and to create a game. And now I'm going to explain the process of creating the game and the things that I wanted to do and the type of experiences that I wanted to deliver with the game. So let's see an example of it. Now some commentaries about the game development. I had the idea to create a very simple game, so I decided that this should fit in the small business card. You can see it, the Portuguese version. It's a real business card, and it should be very small. And then I decided that this would require minimal components, so I decided to use a D6, a regular dice that everybody has at home. So with the D6, I decided, well, let's begin the game economy with a 6x6 grid. Something like this, not very well done, but it will fit. So this was my main focus, and this will be interesting to have something to compete with another thing. So me against an entity, a monster, for example. And then I had the idea to create bars, one for each, the player and the monster. In this case, in the Portuguese version, it is a J, but it's a player. It's J because in Portuguese J is jogador, which is player. Well, so I decided to use the dice, for example, to resolve the clash between these two. But just rolling a dice, it will be very random to obtain the highest value. So I decided that we need to have a decision. And this decision would be, this would be the room, and this will be the bar. So the decision will be to attack or to explore or run in the room. And this gave me the decision for the game. And then and it will be deciding where to roll or where to attack. And it seems in the first playtest it will be very easy to add an option, just fill spaces, recording the run and the attack. And then the run started to be the pips of the dice. Well, a 5 will fill this pretty fast. But the playtest revealed that this will be very easy, so I decided to remove these two and to keep some graphical coherence between this, the bar and the room. And this revealed to be very balanced. Then I added a door to remove one more space and to create the support for the narrative that you are entering the room. And this was how it was done. This effect of having a room to escape created a way to control the length of the game, the duration, because the game will end because in your turn you always feel something and you cannot stall the game. It always advances. And then there's a feeling of urgency because as you are filling the room and the energy, you start to become more stressful because we don't know if you are going to be successful or not. So this is a technique to create tension, also to create and to control the duration of the game. And then I also decided to add to the card some kind of italics saying the demonstration of the thematic and the theme and the narrative. For example, if you decide to run, you decide to run and keep playing. It's about the narrative of the game because you are trying to simulate kind of a clash, a battle between two entities. So this was the development process. It was very simple, and then you can really create the squares and replicate the game and play the game anywhere in a simple sheet of paper, just with a dice. And if you don't have a dice, you can easily use an app like this one that simulates a dice. You can add as many dice as you want. So this is a way to play this without having a proper dice. And because it's always difficult to explain the games by reading the rules, I decided to add a QR code. This one is for the Portuguese version, but I will have the English version, this one that I'm recording now, to the video, of course. And this was the process of developing, and this is one that I use, for example, in my game design classes as the first example to teach the students how to create a very simple game just with pen, pencil, a dice, or any kind of random system that helps them to create decisions and create a game, a very simple game that we can create and test immediately. Well, I hope this video was useful in any way, and I also hope that you could understand me, because my English is not great. So thank you anyway, thank you for all, and be well.